copy Thragtusk, and then like follows it up on
gets right back into the game. Yeah. So, we have deck lists for this other match. Dave Meeson versus Samantha Mellen. It's Bug Pod versus Green White Aggro.
I have to say, Dave Meeson is a person that I have not actually seen play, but I've read Meeson's stuff at various different points throughout the years.
Same here. We've got quite the board state here. All right, so on Samantha's side, we've got a Thragtusk, 2 Birds of Paradise, 2 Restoration Angels, which appear to have some counters on them from a Gavany Township, I'm assuming.
I see a Gideon.
A Gideon, looks like a foil Gideon because he kind of has a reddish look to him, which I believe is the lighting. I said 2 Restoration Angels, I meant 3. Dave Meeson there with a Birthing Pod, a Beast Token,
Worm.
and a Massacre Worm comes down off of the pod. Pod's away an image. Not sure what that image was.
Oh boy, look at that. That cleared nearly all of the table. I think there was a Black Sun Zenith in the mix earlier.
It may have
that shrunk everybody down.
There appears to be a Mimic Vat in play with something on it. What is that? It's a black card. Is it
Skin Render, maybe?
It could be Skin Render. Could be Ravenous Rats. I'm taking a look here. I mean, it could be a lot of things. I guess it's really hard to tell. Are you trying to find out for us, Shoebox? Think it's a Skin Render? I haven't seen Skin Render in a long time.
Skin Render's awesome.
So
and this Samantha here, 28 life, but now actually in a position looking like she might be in trouble.
Yeah, she is up a game here, and there's 15 minutes left, so the end of this game isn't necessarily the end of this match for Samantha. Or David.
And attack with the Beasts from Dave Meeson. I'm not sure what's being figured out here, but because we can't go back in time theoretically for that attack, so
yeah, it looks like
it might have been either a premature untap on the other side, or there's some other thing that has to be figured out. I'm not sure what.
While they figure that out, I did want to mention a couple people pointing out on Twitter that mutagenic growth could have saved the Delver and would have killed in the last match. Mutagenic growth saves the insectile aberration from Inferno.
There is an out. Yeah.
So that's
a very good point.
Yeah,
thank you to Justin Cole.
Justin Cole, Russell Dias, Sir Demon, and Justin Uppal actually all mentioned the mutagenic growth. Something that I, for some reason, kept forgetting about being an option.
The thing about that is he's still not stone dead, because if the Inferno Titan does not kill the creatures, he turns the Inferno Titan into an Elish Norn.
You're saying, so this is pre-pod, I guess.
Yeah. You do the Inferno Titan first.
Okay.
So, with all respect to those players, you start with the Inferno Titan. The Inferno Titan turns into Elish Norn if anything goes wrong. You only do the acidic slime if things are kosher.
Right on. Okay. So in the meantime, they seem to have figured things out, and a Skin Render did pop out of that Mimic Vat to take care of the Thragtusk on Samantha's side. Bug Pod, very interesting deck. Not one that I've seen as often as some of the other variants.
A lot of the times these Bug Pod lists, I feel like there's some old school players, people like. Oh gosh.
So Skin Render comes down to take care of the beast that was left over from the Thragtusk. Sorry, that was a Skin Render out of the Mimic Vat, by the way.
Yep, no worries.
And now Dave in to kill Gideon with the Massacre Worm and the Beast on his side. So what appeared to be an extremely complicated and crowded board state when we showed up to the match. Dave simplified things for us. Massacre Worm, Beast, Birthing Pod, Mimic Vat with Skin Render, and nothing on the other side of the board. So now he's going on the aggressive with the Massacre Worm and the Beast, taking a huge chunk out of Samantha's 28-point life total at this point. So Samantha needs to dig back in here.
Yeah, I feel like this list looks a lot to me like something Benny Smith would play.
What's that? The green white aggro?
No, the bug pod.
Okay. So Blade Splicer comes down to try to help, but that Mimic Vat with Skin Render is absolutely ridiculous. So the Mimic Vat pops out a Skin Render to kill the Golem. Samantha responds with a Gavany Township, putting a counter on both creatures, making that Golem a 1/1 until end of turn, saving the Golem. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's a 1. It's actually a 1/1. It's not until end of turn, and it's been a long time since I played with Skin Render. And Dave Meeson now using Skin Render to take out the Blade Splicer. And in with everything. That's Skin Render, Beast, Massacre Worm. Massacre Worm gets chump blocked by the Golem.
And there's not much left here, I think, for Samantha to be able to do, to be able to pull back into this. Even looking at the board would require a Day of Judgment to do much, and then the Birthing Pod just doesn't really care too much, and you still have the Mimic Vat, and it doesn't care too much.
Yeah, Dave seems to have this particular game in firm control. The question I'm thinking here is, do they have enough time for a game 3? Given the nature of the clogged board states we've seen already in just the last 7 minutes that these decks are capable of, it could really gum things up on the ground and cause the game 3 to just go to time. So timely reinforcements from Samantha. So Samantha Mellen with 3 1/1 soldiers, an untapped Gavany Township, and several lands over there to make those into 2/2s if it seems like a reasonable option. And we're going to see a Skin Render take out one of the soldiers. Mimic Vat, wow. And in with everybody, says Dave. Soldier in front of Massacre Worm, another soldier in front of Skin Render. Take 6. Yeah, those timely reinforcements actually were not even that great. It didn't gain her any life.
Right.
And just, it wasn't even a fog for a turn.
As good as timely reinforcements is,
it just wasn't good right there. I mean, if it was all she had, it's all she had.
Yeah.
And here we go with a...
I actually think that even though there's only like 7 minutes left, that is sufficient time for Samantha to win. The question is it sufficient time for David Meeson to win?
So Pod brings the... takes the Geralf's Messenger, makes the Geralf's Messenger undead there, and gets a Phyrexian Metamorph, and that is that game. There was a handshake there. Am I misunderstanding? Samantha was up a game there, as far as we knew. Maybe we actually had false information.
They're going to a game 3.
Okay.
It looks like they just gave that.
The
what do you want to call it?
Handshake.
Well, no, the handshake of the good game.
Yeah.
You know,
okay.
the release of tension handshake. Like, wow, that was a game.
Right. That's fair. I just started to question myself, or question the information we had. So
the thing that another person points out from the other previous game, the Inferno Titan versus Mutagenic Growth. Sam Party also points out Inferno Titan coming into play. If the Delver survives, you can turn the Dignitary into a Zealous Conscripts to give haste to your Inferno Titan.
Oh yeah, there you go. and do another...
And do it again.
Yeah.
I like the Elishnorn a little bit better because it's a little bit safer.
Yeah.
In case there's another double mutagenic growth, but that's getting into the land of absurdity. For those of you who are just joining us, I'm Adrian Sullivan here with Joey Pasco. We're beginning round 1 here of the Star City Games Open Series here in Denver, Colorado, the Mile High City. This is SCGLive. On your left, you can see Samantha Mellen playing Green-White Aggro versus David Meeson playing Bug Pod.
Now, we weren't... I wasn't noticing it as far as the life totals changing. But did you notice her being drained for 2 off those massacre worms?
We came into it in the middle of the game, so I don't know what the life total changes were coming to.
Right.
So.
It was because sometimes we're behind on life total changes, so maybe it may have been happening on their paper and not on our screen because.
Now Dave Meeson does write for Star City Games on occasion. It's been a little
while. Turn 1 Gravecrawler from David Meeson.
Gravecrawler is an okay turn 1 play.
Yeah, it's pretty good. 2 power, 1 drop. Samantha with just plains to start. Phantasmal Image to Gravecrawler.
Okay, if it's coming into play tapped, that's not the Gravecrawler. That's
I'm sorry, it's
Diregraph
Ghoul. Sorry.
Yeah. And we see Pro Black. Oh, Doctor. Wow. That is the little Pro Black guy, right?
Are you thinking Mirren Crusader?
No.
Are you talking Nearhearth Pilgrim? Or Champ? Well, it's gone.
I guess it must not be Pro Black. I was thinking the M13 guy, whose name is escaping me right now.
Yeah. I wasn't sure. You're talking about the new White Knight, Black Knight kind of guys?
Yeah.
The exalted ones.
I was thinking of Knight of Glory, but that's not Knight of Glory.
that was the lifelink one. This is Near Heath Pilgrim. I think I called it Near Hearth Pilgrim, but.
Okay, so we have zombie.
So there's a Gravecrawler there that Dave played last turn, and Birthing Pod.
Okay, looking at this less in it, this is basically looking at the deck list. Essentially a zombie pod list with a little bit of a toolbox. So we saw a lot of this actually in, I think there were 4 or 5 of them in the winning decks at the Gen Con Magic Cup. It's the Magic World Cup.
And timely reinforcements from Samantha. This time a little more timely.
That was quite timely here.
Yeah. So here comes 2 ghouls and a Gravecrawler.
Now I don't mind just triple blocking somebody. She actually goes 1/1/1.
Takes out the Gravecrawler and leaves the ghouls. Replay of Gravecrawler.
Gravecrawler, here we are. Things are looking pretty bad for Samantha here.
Yeah, she's getting swarmed by a zombie horde.
And the Gravecrawler turns itself into something. I would be unsurprised to see a Butcher Ghoul. There he is, Butcher Ghoul.
Butcher Ghoul.
Time is running short.
Yeah, about a minute left for these guys.
And Gravecrawler also on there. That is 7 power in play versus 14 life. There are Day of Judgments in Samantha's board, but it might not be something that was brought in. Sometimes it's hard to bring in Day of Judgment when you're an aggro deck.
Yeah, and I mean, Dave is already set up to recover so well from that by, Day of Judgment leaves him the Butcher Ghoul, and he just recasts Gravecrawler, and that's half of his attack force right back. So that's an Avacyn's Pilgrim. That is a F&M Avacyn's Pilgrim.
I was going to say, I don't know the art.
Yeah, sometimes the art confuses me. Some of the ones, I thought that was Gravecrawler when it was Diregraph Ghoul.
Yeah, the alt art has never been one of my strengths.
There's an alternate art Gravecrawler, but it's not full art. All right, everybody in, says Dave Meeson. All my dudes attack for 2 except for the Butcher Ghoul attacking for 1 here. He's like, I dare you to trade with the Butcher Ghoul. All right, she's got something. Okay, Celestial Purge for the Gravecrawler. All right, that's a start. Interesting. Are those life totals correct as far as you know? I just wasn't sure. I saw the timely reinforcements. I didn't know if it was after the life totals had been changed.
Dave Meeson is just tearing this game up right now.
Him and his zombies.
I don't know if Samantha can do much of anything to come out of this.
Ooh, there's a Geralf's Messenger, and that's going to make it even worse.
I mean, honestly, she needs a miracle.
Birthing Pod away, the Butcher Ghoul. I think we're going to see another Geralf's Messenger here. What do you think?
Probably.
And there it is, Geralf's Messenger.
Yep.
Sending a message. So Geralf's Messenger, is he not like U.S. Postal Service? Is it like UPS, FedEx? You think it's like DHL?
Huh.
Maybe Laser Ship?
Well, long ago when I worked in the shipping industry.
Did you know anybody that looked like Geralf's Messenger?
I was gonna say who the bad guys were. So.
Would players David Meeson and Sam Mellen please come to the stage? David Meeson,
now,
Sam Mellen, please come to the stage.
They're a little bit busy. Both players in the feature match just called to the stage. I guess they didn't realize they were still playing. All right, so Birds of Paradise from Samantha. And
O-Ring.
Oblivion Ring for one of the messengers.
Too little, too late.
Yeah, she's really... I don't know that she has many ways to get back into this game at this point. I'm trying to see, take a look at her list. All right, here come all the zombies again.
Rawr. I think one of the things I really love about Innistrad is that the zombie theme is just so rich.
Yeah.
I just love the horror themes in general. Samantha packing it up.
Well, Dave potted away the Geralf's Messenger, so that was gonna drain her again. So I think Dave actually killed her there.
Yep. Well, I think she conceded first.
She may have, but they were just they were out of time. So Dave Meeson able to go all aggro with his bug pod list. I mean, this is more zombie pod.
This is zombie pod.
I guess
yeah.